In this video, we will learn how to find the perimeter and area of composite shapes, created by Mary Lou. Remember, a composite shape is a figure made by combining two or more simple shapes. The easiest way to solve these type of problems is by separating them into simpler shapes. So, in other words, we have to divide them into shapes. Alright, here's the first example for today. Since we learned earlier that to make these type of problems easier, we have to split the figure into two simpler shapes or more, we know that since this is an L figure, we can split it at the intersections of either here or here. And we'll just do this side. So first, let's focus on this rectangle. We know to find the area, we have to do length times width. And obviously, the width is 2, but for the length, we have two values. We have 8, and we also have 12. And you may think, well, we could use either one, right? But no, because 8 only extends down here. It doesn't include this section. So we have to use 12. So then 2 times 12 gets you 24 inches squared. And that's just the first rectangle. Now let's focus on the second rectangle. So we know that this side is 11, and we know this side is 13. But we cannot use the 13 because it includes this segment, which we don't need. We only need this part. Alright, so that means we do 11, and then the width is 3, so we do 11 times 3 equals 33 inches squared. And since we have the area of the two rectangles, now we just have to add them together. So 24 plus 33 gets you 4 plus 3 is 7, 2 plus 3 is 5. And then, so then the area is equal to 57 inches squared. And that right there is our answer. And now we have to find the perimeter of the figure. So to find the perimeter, we add all of the outside lengths. So we have to add this side with this side, this side, this side, and this side. And we do not add this inside length because the perimeter is only the outside lines. So we do 12 plus 2 plus 8 plus 11 plus 3 plus 13. And that is because the perimeter, we can imagine it as a string around the object. And a string would go this way that I'm drawing with my cursor right here. So we don't include anything on the inside. And let's find the value of that. So 12 plus 2 gets you 14. 8 plus 11 gets you 19. 3 plus 13 gets you 16. And I just did it like this to make it easier. And then we add these three values together. 14 plus 19 plus 16. 4 plus 9 gets you 13. 13 plus 6 gets you 19. 4 ones is 4, obviously. So we know that the perimeter is 49 inches. Now, here is our second example problem. So this time, we know that the shapes are already separated for us. And as we can see here, this shape right here that I'm drawing with my cursor is a semicircle, also known as half of a circle. And here is a rectangle. So we find the area of both shapes and then add them together. So the area for a rectangle is length times width. Length, 4, times the width, 6, which is 24 inches squared. And that is for the rectangle. So let me draw a symbol right here. And now we'll find the area of the semicircle. So first, to make this easier, let's find the area of the full circle. The diameter is 4, and we know that half of the diameter gets us the radius. So half of 4, sorry, that's not perfect, but is 2. And we know that the formula for the area of a full circle is pi r squared. R being the radius, pi meaning 3.14. So we do 3.14 times 2 squared. And 2 squared is 4. So 3.14 times 4 gets us 12.56 inches squared. So that is the area of a full circle. And now to find half the circle, we divide it by 2. And that gets us 6.28 inches squared. We divide it by 2 because a full circle is the full thing, right? And if we want half of it, then we divide it by 2. So then we do 6.28 right here plus 24, because 24 is the area of the rectangle, and 6.28 is the area of the semicircle. So 6.28 plus 24 gets us, so 24 plus 6 is 30, plus the 0.28 is 30.28 inches squared. And that right here is our final answer for the area. Alright, now let's find the perimeter. So we know that the perimeter is essentially the outside fence of a figure. So we have to add the outside lengths. But you might be asking, how do we find the outside length of a circle? Well, we have to use the circumference. For a full circle, the formula is either 2 pi r or pi times diameter. And either works because 2 times r is equal to the diameter, since half of the diameter is the radius. So 2 radii, add up to the diameter. So for today, let's just use pi times diameter. So 3.14 stands for pi times the diameter of 4 right here gets you 12.56 inches. But that's for the full circle. And to find half the circle, we do 12.56 divided by 2, which gets us 6.28 inches. And that's for half of a circle. Now, let's find the perimeter of the rectangle. So this part is the easy part. We just add all of the side lengths. We do 6 plus 6, and then plus 4 equals 16 inches. We don't add the 4 over here because we're finding the outside fence, so we don't include the inside measures. So we just ignore this 4, just pretend it's not there. So then, since we have 16 right here and 6.28, we just have to add them together. So 16 plus 6.28, 16.00 gets you 0 plus 8 is 8, 0 plus 2 is 2, 6 plus 6 is 12, 1 plus 1 is 2. And that gets you the final answer of 22.28 inches for the perimeter of the figure. Next time, when you see a composite shape, remember these 3 easy steps. First, break the figure into simpler shapes. Next, find the area of both shapes and add them together. Lastly, combine the outer lengths of the figure, which is essentially finding the perimeter, but make sure to not add the inner lengths. Thank you for listening.